Shadiverse.
Greetings, I'm Shad, and I'm just doing something fun and lighthearted in this video. Metatron, good friend, love him. He has reacted to our short film, Sword Fight, on Shadiversity, and now I want to react to his reacting to me. It's REACTSEPTION. And I'm going to scrutinize absolutely everything, because you know I'm a pedantic son of a... Anyway, let's go. First, I got to say, Metatron, your background not very historically... Oh, look, mine isn't historically accurate either. We can only do so much, so I'll give you a pass, all right?
Dearest, noble one, so goodness gracious, I still have the orange light that I put on because Ridley Scott is...
Orange light sometimes makes me look too... Because we can color correct some of our lights here. Random thing to comment on, but yeah, sometimes orange light it doesn't do it for me. But you do you.
Fixated with orange, so I just had to write, let me change it. Today we need a blue light. There we go, blue, like PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I think blue's working for you there. You know, you got dark hair, and it works. There's a more yellowish light in the office here that I think I need to deal with.
I have a dedicated video to that box, link in the description to my third channel, thank you.
What do you guys think about me doing gaming content? I've been thinking about it, and I know I'm not talking about reviews in terms of weapon accuracy and other things like that for games, because I'll do that whenever the opportunity arises or I feel like it. But I'm actually talking about live stream gaming content. It feels like it's so out of place. I'm not sure you guys would show up. Would you show up? I just don't know.
Okay, so as you know, because you've been watching every single one of my uploads because you're addicted like that, I have recently made a reaction video to Scalagrim and a little bit of his sword tests. Well, today...
It's an interesting concept because I've done Kendo as well, and I have thoughts.
We're actually reacting to Shadiversity. I should make myself smaller because this is good. You don't want to miss any of this. Let's hear... Wow! Look at the intro shot with...
So we have on Shadiversity a full commentary and fight breakdown going into detail, and very few people have picked up how we made that backdrop. It's with AI tools, of course, with a number of other, because we had to use something as a foundation, but I was very happy with how it started off.
The dragon.
So the dragons, funnily enough, we actually didn't comment too much on the dragons, apart from less is more, and there were some good ideas about that. I'm not sure they were needed, but I guess it draws focus a bit away from the castle, which seems to work. Because maybe if you look too much at the castle, you might... It looks pretty real, though. That castle, I was pretty happy with how I got that castle image look. And then the moving grass, but anyway.
Okay, that's... who's that? Because I can never tell them apart. Is that Shad or is it...
It's me.
I think that's Shad. Love the Brigandine represent.
Yeah, I know. And Metatron has the blue Brigandine, and he mentions about, perhaps us having a duel in the future. That would look very cool, the red and the blue. But hell yeah. And also, not many people are ever able to tell that is my foam Brigandine. Much lighter, easy wear, though it's still restrictive, hard to breathe. It's not to say it's easy to wear.
I appreciate that.
I'm glad you do.
Man, the color grading, color correction.
It helped. It helped. It still doesn't look as real as I would like. We talk more about that in our full commentary. That's some of the limitations about having, extras and also location limitations.
Nice.
Sorry, I just love it. You got me here with Metatron in the top, and I would love it. I'm not sure there's much worth reacting to Metatron. It would just be funny. I'm picturing, because if you reacted to this, you would react to me. You'd see me, and then you. And if you did that, I would do another reaction just to see the smaller, us's continuing going on. Now, look, you don't need to. I'm just saying, I chuckle at it.
It's nice. Love the barbute, because I love barbutes.
Yeah, it's not a historically accurate barbute, and we wanted to wear my regular helmet. This thing right here. There's some complications about this helmet, okay? Although there are some more historically accurate ones that look similar to it. I really like the look. What they identify this is it's technically a visored bassinet. But yeah, anyway, I forgot it on the day, and so Tyranth had that one from a previous shoot, and so we just needed to do what we could, and that's why my nose is sticking out.
One of my favorite helmets. Okay, so he's a man of faith.
I love Barbute as well. I would like to get a proper, more historically accurate Barbute. I really do like this one. It's just there's a reason why it's become so popular for most people. Maybe I need to do a video what's historically inaccurate about this, because there's actually a decent amount of details I could go into.
That is a gorgeous shot, Shad.
We were happy with this shot as well. It's one of the ones that we also tried to use as a thumbnail, but we did the thumbnail testing, and it just didn't perform as well. Even though I love it. I love the shot. And look, that's a credit to Tyranth as well. He was the cameraman. He was directing the cameraman on the day. The cameraman was Nathan, who also did a phenomenal job, but Tyranth was directing, okay, we're going to go here. So the credit goes to him for choosing this shot, and credit to Nathan for holding. Even though there were sometimes Tyranth held the camera, Nathan was the primary cameraman.
Man, the production, you stepped up.
We tried. There was a lot of effort put into this one, at least 1 to 2 weeks preparation time, full day shoot. Gosh, I want to do another one. I really do. But we would need more time. We would need more budget. There is a location I could pick, which would be great. We'd need to pay for the location. And I would love to hire a proper, cameraman with a proper serious gear camera, money. Probably even maybe a 10-minute short where we put in more effort to do even more choreography, more planning. It would be a week-long shoot to really capture everything and get extras there. It would probably end up costing $100,000. Everything just adds up. Location costs, camera cost, sets, accommodation, because we would need to go to the location. Maybe we could get it to $50,000, but what do you guys think? Would it be worth trying to do a crowdfund Kickstarter thing to try and raise money? Because we're under the pump so much now trying to do daily content. We would need to get a backlog to have content for the week and then go out, shoot, and then my health, it's so many complications. I want to do it though, because this has shown to me that the potential that we could achieve if we had a bit more money, a bit more time. But I'm glad you appreciate it, because we did put in effort to this as well. And it looks like it has higher production value than a regular video, that's for sure. Not as much as it needs to do as best as we could.
This is incredible, with a dragon in the background, and I'd be worried if I were you with a dragon, but this is an incredible shot.
Yeah, I have wondered about how the dragons fit into the story, and I was like, they're just flying. Maybe they serve us, and whereas oh no, we're not using the dragons in this duel.
Reminds me of Oblivion. Okay,
You're not the only one who has said that, actually. We've got a number of comments that said that it's a bit Oblivion-esque, and I take that as a compliment. Thank you.
This must be Tyranth. Tyranth is awesome as well.
Oh yeah, Tyranth is great.
Put links to both channels. Oh my gosh, this shot.
Yeah, it's another one of those good shots. The thing for me, I guess the dragon is so prominent in this shot, it makes me gives, as a viewer, I'm thinking, how do the dragons now fit in, which we don't address in the short film.
Man, Hollywood can go F off.
Well, if we had budget, we could do even better. Though, one of the consistent comments is we were able to do this in a day. The actual choreography, the planning of the fighting and the filming of the fighting, 2 hours. And we got it to look pretty good for a very limited budget. What's going on with Hollywood with the waste and the bloat and some of the worst fight scenes we get out of Hollywood sometimes.
This is incredible. How did you do it? How did you guys do it?
We go into full detail in the commentary and about all of that. And Tyranth has a good philosophy on how he approaches visual effects.
This is so Skyrim. To me, up to this point, Tyranth's character reminds me of Skyrim, and Shad's character reminds me of Oblivion. Is it
again, not the only one who mentioned it. Big compliment. Thank you, sir.
just me? But this is incredible.
Anyway, this is on the Shadlands, my property. I just love it.
Holy moly. There you go. Man of Faith on the left. Crescent tested. Screen tested, sorry. That's his chat. Oh, look at the banners.
We were happy. I would have liked to look more realistic, but they did the job. They did the job. I am interested that Metatron didn't comment on the taking off the helmets thing. Oh, we addressed it in the comments, and I think I told him in in our messages as well. So he already knew why it was.
Shad diversity. This is awesome. This is awesome.
I get to add a little bit of extra things that I don't mention in the commentary. Dang, I was happy with how my hair looked on the day. It can sometimes not work. I was like, especially because I was having a helmet on. I thought the helmet was going to ruin the hair, but the hair just came out perfect when I took that helmet off. I just luck.
Awesome. The production quality. You see, that's a civilized man. He put his helmet on top of a stick. Tyranth is a barbarian. Love him, but I'm with the civilized man in this.
Thank you, Metatron. And you are absolutely correct. Tyranth is a barbarian. I love the guy, but he uses a katana one-handed. Like, Metatron, you feel me on that, don't you? Like genuinely. Using a katana one-handed? Barbaric. Uncivilized. He should be ashamed of himself. And he throws his helmet on the ground. I've probably done it before as well. But still, shocking stuff.
This one, I mean, they're both really cool, but Shad is my pal, mate. So I got to support Shad on this one.
And look, I get people, rooting for Tyranth as well. He got to kill me on his channel. Fair is fair.
For the crown. Oh, I see. They're fighting for the crown. Could you imagine if we could do this, me and Shad, like with my banner? We're going to do this. Okay, Shad, I challenge you publicly. If I ever set foot in the Shadlands, or if you ever come to America, I challenge you to this.
Okay. Like, genuinely, I would love to do it. We would need to prepare and plan. Like I said, I even have a vision of trying to do another one with Tyranth if we had the means. But if we, if I go to America and we get to meet up, you come here. Like, we could do a simpler one, like a full day shoot like we did today. Oh, sorry, like we did, on the day. And then there'll be less planning, and it'll be just because we could probably pull something out pretty good. As to some of the setup, that's the tricky thing. But yes, dude, I would love to do that. I just want you to visit me, man. I mean, show you the Shadlands. We get to hang out. And same, like if I ever get to America sometime. I don't know. But anyway, look, I feel sometime in the future we are going to get to hang out in person, which would just be great, man. And go watch a couple of movies, play some video games. I love it. It's great.
I'll wear my blue brigandine. Before we watch, one thing I want to say is that I'm going to provide commentary as a viewer, as someone who enjoys combat, fighting, video games, and I'll watch it. And of course, I do practice HEMA, I practice Kenjutsu Kendo, but I'm not equipped to be able to give a sort of dissection of the techniques, the guard positions.
I would have been more than happy if you did want to share your thoughts on it, because we go into detail on our commentary, and I think some things work, some things, borderline, we could do better. But so watching as a viewer, great as well. Though, because you have good insights, I'd always love to hear them.
Stances and footwork. I'm not equipped to do that, so that's not what I'm not going to do a full-on analysis. Maybe a little bit, but I'm mostly interested in the overall level of how believable the choreography is, as opposed to what we usually see in video games and movies. So let's go. I also try not to interrupt the combat.
I interrupt all the time, though. Feel free to, but I guess I get what you're doing. You want to show the flow of the fight.
Very nice, very nice.
I was happy with it. It could be better. There was just a thing in here.
Kind of probing a little bit.
Yeah,
makes sense.
These shots.
You wouldn't just. Yep. Okay. Oh, that's good. That's
reverse edge cut there, Metatron. I was like,
nice.
I like reverse edge cuts.
Hey, up to this point, I love it. It's really good.
Thank you. So that one was more warding him away, because I know that the measure was a bit further away, but that was just like, that's the probing stage in the fight.
Very nice exchange. Very nice exchange. Shad has the same tendency that I have to bend a little. That was awesome.
So, I love what you're about to say, but then you got distracted by one of my favorite moments in the fight scene. So I get why I get distracted, because, oh man, in my opinion, we nailed that moment. But the fact that you're saying I have a tendency to bend, yes, and I know I do it. I do it intentionally. It's about energy conservation for me because of chronic fatigue. And so I adopt a stance where I can still be ready. My arms are ready to move, but it actually positions my weight ready to, by bending. I'm ready a bit to lean forward. And so though some people say that you shouldn't do it, and generally that might be true for me, I know what works for me. And so in this fight, I was actually just focusing on this is the way I stand, this is the way I hold, this is the way I fight. And it's interesting that, of course, comes through and that you're noticing as well.
That was awesome. Man, how much did it rehearse?
Not much. That one we did. We went through a couple of, I guess, tries just to prep it, and then all right, film. Let's go for it. And we had to do it from multiple angles as well.
They must have practiced this like for 3 weeks. This is looking. This is how it's done.
Okay, so this one here.
This is how it's done.
Well, that sequence right there was no practice at all. That was freeform, and we threw some freeform exchanges in, which. I was shocked. I thought they would, the ones that had the potential to look the worst, but they ended up looking great. But then Tyranth, he edited this. He did a really good job splicing them in with other sequences to extend certain moments.
You know, great. Of course, the armor is gonna protect.
Mm-hmm. So, should my character have known? I mentioned in the commentary, I think he should have, but all right, maybe if we go this way, it was instinctive, where my character, he had trained fighting so much that he just saw an opening and just got to take the opening, and it's reflex. And then it's like, oh, this isn't a regular, duel where it's first contact win, or, just, it's like, oh yeah, this is, got to keep going.
This is incredible. I know I said I was gonna stop it, but the production quality of this is insane, doesn't it?
Well, one of the things that I think is really working is the depth of field that they're getting on the lens, okay? And so, ISO and aperture and stuff, that affects how much blurry the background is. And so by adjusting the settings, you can kind of get some good depth of field look. That's one of my other favorite ones. It's the symmetrical spinning into position.
Go, Shad, go. Come on.
I love you, Metatron. You're the best.
Showing off a bit.
Yeah, you throw a cheeky little flourish in there. I like flourishes look great. They look good.
Okay, they're getting physical. Makes.
And one of the things, again, Tyranth and I, we're used to each other, so we're perfectly fine with actually putting force into that. And so we're not actually acting that force. That's real.
Sense, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Use anything. That's why you want a cross guard.
Oh, yeah. Did you see how close we got? That slow-mo, and there's another slow-mo. It's like millimeters to the hand. I don't recommend it for everyone trying that. But the fact that we got it so close and on camera is just so good. And there's been people commenting like they literally made them cringe. It was so close. I'm like, oh, And that's the type of stuff that draws people into a fight because they get a sense of realism and they know they're like, there's nothing blocking that hand. That's a steel sword. Like, they get a deeper reaction. And that's the type of, and not every actors can pull that off because you need to be trained in a sword and trust your opponent and be willing to also be a bit risk some stuff now and then to try and get the shot. So I can see why that one in particular is hard for Hollywood to achieve.
Shit, I mean, that was a close call, to be honest, right there. When you do a movement like this, it was really close to the temple.
So a lot of the head stuff, right? We purposely angled the camera and we weren't aiming for the head. And the other ones were, we trusted that you're going to be on point with the block. Or if you miss the block, I would pull the strike and stop. And Tyranth and I have sparred enough times that we know we're able to do that, where it's like, you know, we get a shot in and we stop just before. And it's like, I won that exchange, even though we're not actually touching. And so we trusted we'd be able to do that in the actual filming.
I don't know if that feeling was enhanced by the camera angle. If it was, splendid.
Sometimes it is the camera.
I risked it a little bit right there.
And yes, we did as well.
Controlled risk, of course. But
exactly, controlled risk. And I think it does enhance the
who's
reaction.
Who's going to win? Who do you want to win? Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Nice. He locked him. That's nice. Ooh. GG, Shad. Even
that was actually one of my other favorite moments. Just because for some reason, I don't know how we got the hair flicked back as the blade went through it. It looks like the blade is actually going through the head as a result. I don't know how we managed that.
The fake blood, man. This must have cost.
I mean, we did have to invest some money into it. Tyranth did a lot of the prep work, but especially for the props. All credit to him.
And now he's king. Wow, this is... Holy moly. This was incredible. The crowning.
I'm just so happy how my hair turned out. Do you see how good my hair looks there?
No way. Is this CGI? It
well,
must be CGI.
There was a couple of effects for that. It's actually a still backdrop using AI tools to actually make it. And then Tyranth has added like some flame, you know, torch effects.
In collaboration with Screen Test.
And of course, that's actually a shot of the castle set we have here and that we use in Shadiversity with, you know, lighting effects to make it.
Shad. And everyone involved, of course, the editors,
yes.
The music. Now I heard.
Yeah, because credit to, of course, Nathan, who was there. Marcus was also helping us out. And so 4 people were involved in the shooting of the short film, as well as all the prep work. And look, a lot of credit goes to Tyranth. He did a lot of the, he prepared the sets, and it was his kind of, you know, vision in terms of the direction as well. So big credit to Tyranth.
Heard that you get a different ending if you watch it over at Screen Tested, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do now. Screen Tested, here it is. I'm not gonna rewatch the entire thing, but I do wanna see, give him a like.
And everyone, Tyranth has a making of video where he goes through many of the processes of what we're doing on the day, his approach to the filming. Brilliant video. Please check it out. Give the video a boost as well. And some really good insights. Tyranth, he's a filmmaker, okay? He has a passion for it and is good at it. All right, so please check that out.
Of course, I want to see the alternative ending. Let's go.
So not only does it have an alternative ending, it has a couple of changes as well, like different scene angles, and also some of the changes in the choreography where I had kind of a preference where I thought, okay, I feel that we could change that. And then Tyranth, he approached like, all right, he was happy with the speed in one shot or wanted to keep a slow-mo or close up in there. And so the whole video has differences throughout the entire thing. They're not identical with just a different ending. There's actual different changes.
Lemonade.
Because that shot of the crown was different.
Nice. Upper stance.
So slicing my back leg.
Oh, look at the blood. That's it.
So I basically can't get my leg is done, and so
yeah. What about his 17 kids? Who's gonna?
Thank you for mentioning my kids. I was just like Tyranth. He defeated me at that point. Okay, I clearly wasn't able to fight. He got my leg. He didn't need to just like he could have accepted my defeat. It's just a bit brutal, killing me off. As Metatron mentioned, what about my 17 kids? You know,
I'll take care of them now. Tyranth.
I have 5. I only mentioned I don't want to ruin the joke, but I know there's some people who actually think I've probably got 17 kids. 5, which I'm I love them all. They're great.
You gonna do that, King?
Okay, see the hand in the foreground with the blood? Because this is his version, it's actually not in the commentary reaction we have because we're commentating to my version. That's Marcus's hair because I hate sticky crap on my hands. It's a pet peeve. Just don't like it.
Yeah, I can see him as a king. He looks like a king.
I do find his like Tyranth sold the regretful victory thing, where my character was happy with the victory there. Tyranth is really showing.
I love that they have 2 different endings.
Yeah. I think I was happy with that.
Yeah, this was genius.
Good angle. This is a good shot.
Man, that was... So, of course, if you haven't, check out Screen Tested Channel, because he's got a lot of awesome stuff. Look at this. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. And as always, really, really congratulations to my dear friend Shad. He did an exceptional job, and he absolutely needs more views. This deserves more views. Freaking algorithm, literally.
I know, man. The video got buried, but I have been mentioning in other videos, boosting it. It's on the front page, and so... And your video, genuinely, thanks for reacting to it, mate. That's also boosted as well. And, it's gotten, it's growing. It's growing. Not where I'd like it to be, but, still very happy with it. I'm grateful for the whatever views we do get, of course.
The production was spectacular. So, Shad, here's the thing. You, me,
yes,
sword.
Yes.
Anytime, mate. We gotta do this.
100%.
So what I'm gonna do,
100%.
as a little post-production information, I actually asked him, how long did you train? And here's what he told me, so you get a little extra insight. So he's telling me, it was done without helmet or gloves, with fully weighted steel swords. We had our reasons for this, of course. The no helmet choice was for facial reactions and airflow. I suppose, yeah, a little bit. I mean, with a barbute airflow, I think would have been fine. But I understand, it's the same reason why Hollywood does it, so you can
recognize
who's
just
who.
very uncomfortable. Also,
and
vision.
he's saying it was a very hot day, but with an in-story reason, Tyranth's character took it off as an overconfident taunt, implying he felt he could beat my character.
I think we could have implied or shown that more through body language. Like, after Tyranth took his helmet off, I reckon if I had my character, he took his hand, he looks at Tyranth, he hesitates, takes it away, and then commits to it as well, and then takes off his helmet. I think that would have conveyed that it's a decision that he's making in response,
Without that protection, makes sense. To which I feel like I'm speaking to the movie maker, to which my character matched his confidence by taking off his. This also justified most of the choreography, as that meant we were striking for each other's exposed heads. Sure. We went with no gloves for more control over the swords. Well, yeah, medieval people actually did that too.
Yes. I was actually a bit surprised how few people knew that. That everyone was saying that, it's weird we weren't wearing gloves, and it's like, that's a common enough thing historically. There's a lot of depictions of people, swordsmen, not wearing gloves.
You see that oftentimes in iconography. Clearly you do want gauntlets. There we go. So these are always nice, and plenty of knights used gauntlets, whether it be mittens like these, or whether it be the ones that have articulated fingers. But there were also knights and men at arms that in war and in duels would choose not to wear the gauntlets.
And I find it interesting that so few people also know that there's a lot of depictions where armored, soldiers are not wearing any leg armor, just like they're wearing tights, hosen, just pants, basically. No armor on them, their legs at all. And I think it's worth just a dedicated video. I know I've mentioned it intentionally in videos, but I should make a dedicated video. Why? I'm doing it. I'm adding it to the list.
It's a thing. I understand that for us, that could be kind of weird. Personally, if it was me, I would go for the gauntlets. But then again, it's one of those things, like some...
So, and one of the other interesting things, my gambeson has these really thick cuffs right there. And I can't fit the gauntlet over the cuff. And so when I wear that gambeson, which just suits the Brigandine so well, I can't fit on gauntlets.
Knights that would just raise the visor. In fact, if we do that, Shad, I think I would wear my Maximilian helmet or any armet, and I would duel you with the visor up, but still wearing the helmet. Or maybe I'll take it off and show off my locks. Well,
that's actually really, because if you wear the armor, right, that would affect our choreography, the way our characters would fight, which would be make it a different kind of combat sequence, which would be really cool. I'd go half swording, man. I love it. I love it.
Well, we'll see. You choose. You are the movie director, not me. And then he says, we also trusted each other enough to be safe. Sure. We knew we were both good at pulling our strikes.
There was another mention about gloves as well, like the hot day, sweatiness, get really uncomfortable.
When we saw the other Mr. Block, I gotta say it doesn't look like it. It looks like you were fully committed. There were only a couple of times where I was like, maybe that looked like he's not fully committing, but the majority of the shots, splendid. And
yeah, and so some of my thoughts is like, I agree. Yet at other times, I know in actual sparring, there are times when you don't have fully committed strikes and you're just trying to get the opponent to, you're trying to bait their sword out of position. And so those are reasons why, and Metatron, you know this, of course, I completely understand. I'm just kind of mentioning it for general viewers, that sometimes you actually do purposely strike for the blade, okay? It just needs to be justified in the flow of the choreography. And so often, especially with recent examples like in Acolyte, there's nothing but aiming for the blade. And that's where the criticism comes fully into play. But the occasional strike at the blade, okay, is actually, that's fine. There are times when you want to draw your blade out, manipulate into a different position, knock it offline, so you actually strike at the blade purposely to knock it away. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Which I know you know.
And then again, it can happen, a moment of hesitation,
Exactly.
even if you do want to kill or incapacitate your opponent, because maybe you're...
Also, it's like, I know I've done it in sparring. I try and fluster the opponent with a quick flurry of strikes where you're just trying to push them back. And in those instances, you don't actually need to fully aim for the person, like the opponent, but they would actually try and move back anyway because of the intimidation factor. And when you try and fluster them, the purpose of it is to get them into a predictable reaction. And then it's like, okay, so you've drawn them into a predictable reaction, and then you quickly change it up with a final different one, and then they, because they're in the predictable movement or the habit of like, oh, hit block, the same thing, they go for the same thing, and then your strike comes in a different angle.
Not fully confident of committing because you don't know what sort of riposte. So it looked very, very believable, I have to say it.
And so that's one of the things. I could see myself criticizing in Hollywood things if they're doing it constantly, which I've done with like the Acolyte. But with the occasional one, there are times when it can be passable because there are, of course, many cases it happens in real sword fights.
And then he says, we knew using steel swords was a risk. They are blunt trainers, but can still break bones and crack skulls for sure.
1.4 kilos, those swords. They both weighed 1.4 kilos.
And maybe if you hit with the tip, maybe not too bad. Maybe you wouldn't crack, I think, a skull with that. But still, it's dangerous.
Kind of on the meat of the blade.
It could do something committed for sure.
A full committed hit. Especially because they do have weight down the bottom, and if you really tried, you could crack a skull.
Film-grade rubber props of aluminium stage blades, but they cost a lot, and we didn't have time to source them either. Makes sense. Lab saws look too fake. I agree. And floppy. Yeah. So steel was our best option, and it did.
So they look too floppy for film choreography, where you want them to look real. The floppiness actually, doesn't impact too much if you want to use them in training. LARP swords can actually still be a very good option for a sparring training tool. Not perfect. There are, of course, issues with them. And it's more the bounce that can be an issue with LARP swords. But still, they're actually a good enough substitute if for wanting to do some quick, fun sparring where you don't need full protective gear. But for film...
Yeah, okay, so how much did you train? He loved the sound of the steel blades. I agree. Me too. Yeah. Very happy we pulled it off without injury. Absolutely. And then it was all done in one go, meaning 2 hours filming session. Impressive. We planned and prepped individual takes during that time, practiced a few times, and then filmed it a few times. It looks like you practiced a few weeks.
Thanks. And interestingly enough, I guess Tyranth works the same way. If I get told a sequence of something, it's in my immediate memory, I can resort to it quickly because it's right there. If I let it rest too long, then I'd forget it. Or if I try and plan out the next sequence, remembering that first one or remembering the whole thing in one go is really difficult. But remembering a short, exchange of 4 movements, easy. And so it's like, oh, these 4 movements, we got it. It's on the forefront of my mind. Do it, bang, 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 bang. Got it. And then ready to move on to the next sequence. But there was one that reached up to 10 movements, all right? And they were more basic and stuff. And so it just takes a couple of times, rounds of practice to remember longer sequences. And then you don't need to remember it. It's like, gone, let's focus on the next one. And so doing it like that actually helped remembering the movements because it was just like one thing at a time, whereas trying to remember the whole thing, that would actually take a lot of practice. And it doesn't necessarily look good because those moments of slow-mo and moving him in closer, further out, different angles makes, in my opinion, the fight scene far more dynamic. There are ways to make a one-take look great, but the camera needs to be dynamic and moving around and things. It's not necessarily better.
Until we got a good shot and recorded it and then moved on to the next sequences, of course, yes. And then with the magic of editing, yeah, of course. Yeah, this is incredible, Shad. You did a spectacular job. And same for Tyranth. Loved the production. This was objectively superior to the majority of duels I've ever seen in both video games and film industry.
Thanks, man. Look, it's been really great. A lot of people actually sharing similar to that. I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's as good as Adaria. They're the gold standard. You should check out their thing. That's what I'd like to try and reach if we had more time and budget and preparation and stuff. But I am very happy with it. And I actually agree. I do think it is better than so much of the slop. That's not necessarily saying much because so much of the stuff that's coming out of Hollywood is so bad. Doesn't take much to make something vastly better than it. But I certainly appreciate the sentiment.
That tells you a lot, doesn't it? Next time, will you challenge the 72-winged angel?
It's on. It's on.
Thank you for watching, number ones.
Thank you, mate. Love Metatron. He is a legend. Go check out his channel, of course, if you haven't seen him. And I had to do it. It was fun. It's REACTSEPTION. It's just so appreciate you, mate. Thank you for watching. And, of course, if you want to see the full commentary where we talk about all the prep work, and we go through, break down every kind of movement and motion, what we think of the techniques that we use, everything, we have our full commentary of that fight scene here where we expose ourselves. It's right there, available. Go check it out. I hope to see you there. And until that time,